we're going to learn the command grep. This is a command we use to search. Okay, we're going to search contents of a file, and probably this is the most useful command that I use. I know I say that about everything, but this one we use it really often, and it's very useful because you log it into some SSH, into some Linux machine, and you're trying to find, oh, this a file that contains some script, some text that you know should exist, right? You know, my file should have the word foo, but I don't know exactly where that file is. So I can easily just use the word grep to search the entire system. So I'm going to show you examples of how to use the word grep. And grep stands for Global Regular Expression Print. I did not even know that until I was researching this, but I've been using grep ever since I started programming, pretty much, right? So let's take a look at it. Before we get to the main part of the tutorial, I want to remind you this is part of a full course. It's a free course on my site that I call Engineering Toolbox. It's a collection of different topics. It's a bunch of mini courses in one big course that I meant for somebody just getting into tech, learning how to code, learning how to automate. There's a lot of different tools that will not be part of the main thing you're learning, but you still have to know. And I call them essential tools for an engineer. So it's a course that is configured in a course format, really focused and less distraction. So I definitely think you should consider taking that course. It's free, and I'm going to put the link in the description. All right, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe so you get notification when I create videos. All I do is help people learn automation, help people learn QA, and break into the tech field in general. So you would really enjoy my content, and I focus on education. All right, so subscribe and like the video. All right, so let's get back to the main part of the tutorial. So here I'm just going to use few examples. I'll use a simple one. So I'm here in this folder. This was the files I used for my video on reading a file, right? So let's say we have the CSV file with a bunch of names. Let's say I'm going to copy Stefan, okay? And here in the terminal, I'm going to say grep, right? The name I want to find, and I'm just going to say put the string and then where I want to search, right? So I hit enter. Oh, and I'm going to say grep-r, the recursive, because you want to search through folders, right? If you want to search just a file, you can just give it the file name. But if you want to search in a folder saying, hey, search in this folder and anything inside of it, any other folder in there, you will use -r for recursive. So it's grep and some options, and then the string you want to search for, and then the location. Okay, this is what you are actually going to do when you're doing grep. When we look at the cheat sheet, it should actually be there because that's one of the ones I use most often. Grep is right here. So for the syntax, you can just do grep, the string, and the file name if you want to look in the file. But I don't think I ever done that. I'm always looking for, I have tons of files and I want to know which file contains the string that I'm looking for. To make it case insensitive, you do -i. So in this example, the one we just did earlier, it found it, right? It found it say, hey, Stefan is in this file here, and it actually prints out the text that it found. But if I put lowercase s, it's not going to find anything. It's basically, it doesn't give you an error, it just doesn't return anything. So that means it didn't find it. It's saying I can't find it. But I'm going to add -i to make it case insensitive. Hit enter. Now it will find it. Okay, that is one way to do it. Sometimes you don't want the actual string, you just want the file name. Then you can add the option -l. That will just give you the file name without actually printing the whole thing. Okay. You can also chain those. You don't have to do -r, -i, -l. You can just do -r-i-l, and the order doesn't matter either. And then it would work. So a better way to show you this is something much bigger. Like let's look at this. This is a framework. This is a framework I use in the bootcamp. It's a lot of code. It's an entire automation framework with front end and back end. So let's say I want to find all the files that has the word product in them, right? So if I see where I am, PWD, I am in SSQA test, I'm in here. So if I do ls, there is so many files, and this is just showing me the files. So when we look at the folders, it is even more, right? So I can do grep -r, and I can say products, right? That's the word I'm looking for. And if I do dot, it means start from the current directory. And since I have -r, it's going to keep looking into all the subdirectories. Basically, here and lower is going to look at everything. I can give it a folder. I think I can say, look in the tests folder only. Then it will search in the test folder. And let me pull this up. And it's giving me, it found the word product. If you look at my search, it's saying I found the word product in all these files. There's tons of them, right? So there is few options. I don't think you would need to look it up. I don't have it here, but here so for example, it found binary files. You can tell it to ignore binary files by adding -i, uppercase I. You will get a little bit less results there. Then it shows you the file where it found the word that you're looking for. Then it shows you the actual line. It will print out the entire line. But like I said, if you do -r and if you do L, it's a lot cleaner. It just shows you the files without printing the actual string. Yeah, the line in the file. That is really, really super important, okay? Very useful. And you have to try this. It's not something you're going to memorize. I always say you have to like just get familiar with it a little bit, try it, but you can always ask ChatGPT. When it comes to this, the basics one, I just have one text and I just want to find it. I always know how to do it. But sometimes with grep, you can write a lot of complicated things. You can find stuff, then pipe it into another thing and find it to another thing. Or you want to find some special combination of things. ChatGPT or any AI that you use is a good option for this. You can just say, hey, give me the command. Okay, give me the command to search for this. Just explain your scenario. I use that quite a lot. The ones that I use mostly, for example, is let's say I want to just find it in a folder called, I want to exclude. Where you want to find, you can add it here. I want to exclude anything that says front end, right? So we have this test/front end test and back end test. Let's say I just want to get back end test. I just want to search in the back end test folder. First of all, I can just give it the actual folder that I want, but normally you want to exclude like virtual environments or some kind of bin folders or lib folders. So I can just say that here, and I can do -- exclude dir, and in quotes I can say front end. So I want to exclude anything that is front end and just give only back end, right? Oh, I got more results because I asked it, I did not tell it, I asked it to search in the current location. Or I can actually just tell it to exclude this folder. This is the folder name, start with a %. Then I can do -- exclude dir, quotes, inside of quotes the folder name, hit enter. Oh, this entire thing is another folder. Okay, so you can keep doing that. You can say exclude dir. In this case, in fact, the easiest one for me is I can exclude the file by the extension. So exclude dir is to exclude a directory. Then you can just do exclude. I can say anything that ends with JSON. So this is going to exclude. Remember, my first command was returning a bunch of JSON. Here I say, hey, you know what? I don't want to search for JSON files, just anything that is not JSON. So now I got everything that's not JSON. I can do one more thing. I can do exclude star.txt, right? I'm going to tell it, hey, don't search in a txt file. That's what I normally do. I search for something, I get tons of results that's hard to read. Then I'm going to be like, okay, exclude anything.txt. I get a smaller subset, right? Then I'm going to do, I'll look at it and I'm like, okay, I want to exclude PYC. I'm going to say, exclude this, exclude that. So if I do this now, as you can see, it's getting much, much simpler. We still got HTML files in here. We have a CSV file, right? A bunch of Python files. And I just want Python files. So in that case, I can do include, okay, star.py. Basically, that I'm just telling it anything that ends with .py. The star is important, okay? Important, but it's a wildcard character. Anything but ends with .py. If I hit enter now, I'm going to get everything that is .py. That is how you use grep. So to make it case insensitive, you do R. If you're searching in the folder, you always have to do, did I say R? I. If you're searching in a folder and anything below it, you do -R for recursive. Usually I combine those two and -RL to just give you the file name like I have it here. In this command here, if I did not have the L, it would be hard to read. In fact, let me copy this whole thing, Control C. I'm going to do grep -r, and I'm going to paste that. Right? It's a little bit. Sometimes it's helpful. You want to see the content of the file, the line itself. But usually I just search for a file. But in this case, you kind of would help you figure out, oh, this is actually what I'm looking for. Okay, so that's grep. I actually went quick because there is so much you can do with grep, but mainly you just have to know it's so much easier to search the entire system, especially when you have tons of stuff. And so right now I'm only start searching in this folder and below. So I can go back out one more, then I can run the same command. Now it starts where I am and below, right? So sometimes you can go to your home. This is CD is my home directory. Everything is in there. Then since if I have no clue where what I'm looking for is, then I'll start from home. Then I'll give me everything. But it will take longer because it's going to scan almost your entire computer. So it takes a lot longer to do that. Just be patient though, it will finish. All right. And sometimes you get on the list it says I can't search in this file, permission denied. Then if you think you need to search in those internal files, then you would do sudo, which is super user do. It's basically running it as a root user or as an administrator. All right. So that's without going too much into it, that is how you use grep. It's a very, very powerful command, and make sure you know it and make sure you use it. If you actually do that in an interview or anything like that, you would really impress somebody. So make sure that one is on top of your list to practice.